The genre of my magazine is jazz. This is a niche audience. My subculture is ages from 18 to 30. This is challenging the stereotypical ages that listen to jazz. Because of this, my magazine needed to look contemporary. Both genders can be interested in this style of magazine, but I think more males would buy the magazine because there are stereotypically more male jazz musicians, so it would be 6% male and 40% female. The ABC ones will be 63% because younger people have disposable income. This is my front cover. The masthead is an abbreviation of the words jazz time. I have chosen these words because it has connotations of jazz is making a comeback. I have also reinforced this with the cell line under the masthead. I have abbreviated the words to JT because some contemporary magazines do this, such as NME. This does challenge the forms of jazz magazines because all the ones I've looked at haven't abbreviated the words. The font I have used is Bournville Old Face because I think the font looks classy. I have put a gold effect on the text that I created on Photoshop to create a preferred reading Stuart Hall 1980 of a brass instrument. This is a stereotypical jazz instrument, so it represents that style of music. I have encoded a banner at the top of the page. I have pastiched this from an issue of Mojo to follow the codes and conventions of a magazine. Here I have told the audience about 2 topics that will be inside the magazine. Next to the banner, I have encoded a half circle as an anchorage, Roland Barthes 1979. The circle is gold with a black text to keep the house style of red, black, white and gold. I have pastiched this from a front cover of NME. I have used an image I have taken of a jazz guitar to reinforce that the text about what the text is about, and also connote more that it is a jazz magazine because the cover image alone doesn't fully suggest that it is a jazz magazine. The main cover line is bigger than the rest of the text to denote it is the main article in the magazine. The cover lines around the page are lined up at the side of the cover image. I have pastiched this from the cover of Mojo to follow the codes and conventions of a magazine and denote that there is a lot in the magazine to read. I have kept with the house style and put a stroke on the text to make it stand out from the page. This challenges the conventions of jazz magazines I've looked at. However, I have done this to make my magazine look more contemporary for my stereotypical young audience. The main cover image is an image of my model I've used for my double page spread. The main image takes up most of the page to connote he is the main focus of the magazine. The shot type is a medium close-up. I have pastiched this gesture my model is doing from a cover image of Jazz of Jamie Cullum. I have done this to connote smartness and classiness, which is a stereotypical view of the jazz genre. This also creates him as an ideal self, Carl Rogers 1980, because he could be seen as a role model by being a young artist for my targeted young audience. He could also be an ideal partner because of the clothes he is wearing and also that he is using direct gaze from the page to bring the reader to look at the page. I have also added 2 other images on the right hand side of the page. One is a poster of Jazz Festival and the other is another model I have used. I have added them to reinforce that it is a jazz magazine and denote to the audience what else is in the magazine. This challenges the jazz magazine's forms and conventions I have looked at, but I have done this to make it look contemporary. Above the images, one of the models I have took a photo, I have encoded a slightly larger cover line with a box shape behind it to make it stand out from the page and emphasize that it is exclusive. This will make the reader want to read more about it. I have added a barcode at the bottom of the cover page because this is a vital convention of a magazine. Above the barcode I have the issue number, the month and the year and the website for the company. All magazines do this. This is my contents page. I have pasticed this layout slightly from the issue of Kerrang! I have chosen this layout because I think it looks professional and contemporary because it is from a popular magazine for a young audience. For the biggest image on the page, I've used the model that is on the front cover to follow the codes and conventions of a music magazine. On all the images, I've used a drop shadow. I have pasticed this from Kerrang magazine. I have used this because I think it looks professional. I have kept with the house style to make it look professional also. I have one column at the side of the right hand side of the page. This is to follow the layout of Kerrang. Altogether, the highest page number is 56. This is a lot lower than mainstream magazines. This is because jazz is a niche audience and not a lot happen in a month at a time. I have a border around the page that I have also used on the double page spread. This is an Art Deco effect that has originated from the 1920s. The 1920s was when jazz music started becoming popular, so it links in with the history of jazz. I have also made it gold to follow the house style. I have these contents of jazz artists such as Jay McCullum and E.L. Jazz Band because they are all famous jazz singers, so they will stereotypically be in jazz magazines. This is my double page spread. I have used this layout that is similar to many other magazines I have looked at. The one big image is of the model I've used on my front cover and contents page. The main image is of the model pretending to play a saxophone. This creates my model to have a star persona, Richard Dyer. A saxophone is a stereotypical jazz instrument, so it develops the forms and conventions of a jazz magazine. I have also used white, orange and gold to keep with the house style of the magazine to make it look more professional. I have added a quote from the article that is bigger than the rest of the other font. Many professional magazines do this to keep the reader interested because it could be the first thing they look at when they turn to the page. This is my title for my double page spread. I have chosen this because in English terms it is a power of 3. I have done this to persuade the reader to read on. Also, the other title is Brad Sargison. This is the font of the text. I have used this font because it looks similar to the Art Deco effect and links into the history of jazz. This is my slogan for my double page spread. I have done this because it is stereotypical convention of a magazine. I have also added my masthead at the side of it to keep the house style. This is my lead paragraph. This is a stereotypical convention of magazines to introduce the main body. I have pasticed this from Mojo magazine because it is a similar style and colours to mine. The body text is an interview of the artist/model I have used for my front cover. The interview is about the artist's new album. This is very stereotypical of what interviews are about in music magazines. Here I have added page numbers and my magazine masthead on the page. I have pasticed this from many other magazines. I have added a drop cap to keep with the forms and conventions of many other magazines. Around the title of the page I have added a stroke to make it stand out from the page. I have also used the gold border around the page. This is an Art Deco effect that stems from the 1920s, which jazz music started, so it links with the history of jazz. By Shannon Worthington.